Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Expansive Conversations with Dr. Nkem. This is season 2, episode 3. Today, we're talking about the pressure that comes with earning more and building a more expensive life, because there is a common belief that as income increases, life automatically becomes easier. More comfort, more freedom, more options. And while that can be true, it's not always the full picture. For many people, earning more does not reduce the pressure. It simply changes the type of pressure that they experience. As income grows, so does expectations. Lifestyles adjust, responsibilities increase, and over time, what once felt like a luxury becomes normal. Expenses expand, commitments grow, and suddenly the cost of maintaining your lifestyle becomes significantly higher than the cost of actually building it. This is where lifestyle inflation quietly takes hold. It does not happen all at once. It happens gradually through small upgrades that feel justified at that time. So a better home, more convenience, higher standards, more commitments. Each decision makes sense individually, but collectively, they create a structure that requires constant income to sustain. At that point, the conversation shifts. It's no longer about building freedom. It becomes more about maintaining a standard. And that is where the trap begins. Because the more expensive your life becomes, the less flexible you feel. The ability to step back, the ability to take risks or just make different choices, that starts to shrink. And it's not because you lack resources, but it's because your obligations now have increased. In many cases, high earners are not financially struggling, but they are structurally constrained. They have built lives that look very successful, but are difficult to step away from. This is why more money does not automatically create more freedom. Without intentional structure, it can actually create dependency. The important distinction here is between earning well and building wealth. Earning well allows you to support your lifestyle, but building wealth, that creates options, it creates flexibility and long-term control. And those two things are not always aligned. It is possible to earn a higher income and still feel financially pressured simply because your outflow has overgrown alongside your inflows. And that is why it becomes important to ask a different set of questions. Not just how much are we earning, but how much are we keeping? How much flexibility do we have? And what does enough, that word enough, what does it actually look like for us? Because without a clear definition of enough, the goalpost just continues to move. There's always another level to reach, another upgrade to make, another expectation to meet. And then over time, that can shift the purpose of success from really creating freedom to just maintaining this appearance. And the professionals who navigate this well, they're not necessarily the ones who earn the most, but the ones who are intentional about how their lives are structured. They understand that every financial decision has a long-term implication, not just on their money, but on their flexibility, their time, and the ability to make choices in the future. They allow their income to grow, but as they are careful about how much that growth becomes permanent obligation. Because once a cost becomes fixed, it's no longer a choice. It becomes a requirement. And so the question is not just how do we earn more, but how do we build lives that still allow us to choose, to adapt, and step back when needed. Because real freedom is not just about what you can afford, it's about what you are not forced to maintain. So I'm going to leave you with these 5 things. Earning more is not the same as building wealth. Lifestyle expansion can quietly reduce flexibility. Financial pressure can exist at any income level. Real freedom comes from structure, not just income. And 5, the goal is not just to earn more, but to really maintain control. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.